Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. This is why we love boxing. Fabio Wardley loses 8 or 9 rounds against Justis Huni. Huni is a complete revelation, shows levels that I had never seen before. Maybe if you followed him from the amateurs, you would have known that he could do much more than he has done in his professional career so far. But nevertheless, despite beating up and beating down and just plain beating Fabio Wardley for 9.5 rounds, he then gets promptly flattened with one almighty right hand, meaning that Fabio Wardley scores a TKO over Justis Huni. Against the run of play, don't even begin to cover it. This was a very one-sided match. Fabio, he's moved to 19 wins with 18 KOs. He's got a draw that against Fraser Clark that he avenged with a 1-round knockout. Fabio's 30 years of age, 6'5", big lad. What are you, 240, 245, 243, something like that. Had 4 white collar fights and then became a professional boxer. And so the level he's got to is laudable. He's really achieving a tremendous amount, British champ and all the rest of it. But he was, I don't know whether exposed is the word, because none of us was saying that Fabio Wardley had world-class skills. He's got world-class power and he's got a ton of grit and he's got a nasty spite that can take you far in the game. But Justis Huni really illustrated that if you've got good skills, then you will be able to outbox and beat up Fabio Wardley. And Justis did that. Justis Huni, you got a feel for the guy. He got flattened by one punch. 26 year of age, Australian, came halfway across the world, was winning the fight hands down, and then bang, it's all over. And he's got to go back without a pot to piss in. But let's put it this way. Justis Huni, I think his stock has risen in this fight because he did show skills and, levels of ability that quite clearly he hasn't shown before. And when you look back to the one fight where he looked very sort of quite vulnerable at times, which was the Kevin Lorena fight, he seems to have learnt a lot from that fight. He really did. He seems to have soaked up the lessons from what he did wrong, what he should have done more of. When this fight started against Wardley, Wardley came out and won the first round for me. He was very aggressive. He was on the front foot. He was not allowing Huni to find his range, to find his rhythm, to find anything, to find his chin or his body. And Huni, he didn't look, demoralised. He didn't look like he was, hesitant. It just looked like Wardley started very, very fast and Huni was not able to live with that aggression, and that speed mixed in with the aggression. In the second round, the tide turned quite sharply because at one point, Huni had Wardley against the ropes, and that's not really where Wardley wants to be, and he was really railing on him and beating him up, and this sort of continued. Huni was he'd found his rhythm, he was controlling the range, and he couldn't miss with the right hand. The straight right and the overhand right. He's an orthodox fighter. They were pinging off Wardley's chin, and Wardley, who I think his chin was untested, he's been rattled a bit in the past by a couple of fighters, just briefly. And I did have a bit of a question mark over his chin, but he took some hellish fucking leather in this fight. Make no mistake about it. And Huni, by the 4th round, certainly was in the ascendancy and didn't look like he was going to relinquish it. And as the rounds ticked by, it was becoming more of a sort of hellish struggle for Wardley, who, again, he was taking body punches. He was pinged, like I said, the right hand couldn't miss. There were a couple of great left hooks, especially early on. Huni landed a couple of good left hooks in, I think, 2nd round, 3rd round, that stung Wardley. And you were thinking, well, Huni's clearly got every tool in the box. And I was talking to a couple of people on WhatsApp, to Bob and Lee from Canada's boxing channel and Inside the Distance. I was WhatsApping messages to them. And I said, by about the 8th round, I said, look, unless Wardley can find a Hail Mary punch, it's all over. And I'm someone who picked Wardley to win I think I said 5 rounds or less. I thought he'd just have too much aggression and spite for Huni. But I have to say, I did not think Huni was that good. He showed level, not just a level, but several levels above what he's shown in the past as a pro. And his stock has risen, as far as I'm concerned. He is a handful. He can be a handful. I don't think he's got a bad chin, Huni. He just got banged out by a big puncher. But I have to say, he was landing some terrific combinations, and the right hands that Wardley took. Well, Wardley's got a good jaw, a very good jaw. But and to be honest with you, I mean, the finishing punch was the only punch that ever landed flush on Huni's jaw in the 10th round. Huni sort of squared up, looking to come in and exchange. To be first, I suppose. He squared up. I think he went for a jab and was about to fire his own right hand. Why not? He'd had success all night with the right hand. And Wardley beat him to the punch. Banged on the side of the jaw. Flat on his back was Huni. He managed to get up, but he was wobbling all over the place, and the ref stopped it. And an incredible come-from-behind win, a one-punch knockout, completely against the run of play. And even though Wardley clearly is, fringe world level at best, he will sell tickets because he's so damn exciting. Make no mistake about it. And this was an incredible reversal of fortune for Fabio Wardley. And a good performance by Huni, but he goes back empty-handed. Sorry, Justis, but that's the name of the game. But this is why we love boxing. This was a case of if it was a football match, one team being 5-0 down with 3 minutes to go and losing 6-5. That's the way it goes in boxing. Anyway, what do you think of the fight? What do you think of Wardley? What do you think of Huni? Where do both fighters go from here? Let me know your opinions. I'd love to hear them. And thanks for the support for the channel. Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're new, support the channel. Thank you very much. Good fight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say about it. And bye for now.